Are you trying to stop drinking or at least drink less? Just to find yourself reaching out for alcohol and drowning the whole bottle instead of just drinking a few. And then you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I crazy? What's going on? Why is my willpower not working? If you find yourself asking these questions, you're not alone. I've been there, and I will tell you what's going on and how you can stop this vicious cycle for good. Hi, this is Alex with Activation Energy, and I'm here to help you stay sober, reclaim your life, and become the best version of yourself. So the problem you're having is that you're finding yourself drinking too much and too often. And then you tell yourself that you're going to stop drinking, or at least not so much, just to find yourself drinking over and over again. There are a few reasons why you're drinking so much, and understanding this is critical for you to change this behavior. The first reason is that alcohol provides you with relief. It provides you with relief for your strong emotions. Emotions like anxiety, emotions like depression, emotions like frustration and anger. When you drink, you immediately change your state of mind. You go from feeling angry or feeling upset into feeling more at ease. You go from feeling anxious and having these feelings of dread to find more peace and calm. So it's very important that you understand that you're using alcohol as a means to change your state of mind immediately, because it is very effective. And the truth of the matter is, if alcohol wasn't doing something for you, if it didn't have some kind of positive effect for you, you wouldn't do it. And that's one of the reasons why you drink, to help you feel different, to help you avoid some of these emotions, to help you not feel these very intense feelings that can be very difficult to deal with. So you've been drinking this way for such a long time that now alcohol has become your primary coping mechanism. It's the primary way that you have for coping with these strong emotions. So you really don't have anything else that compares to that. And it's very hard to break this cycle, because if you don't have anything else that can help you deal with these very strong emotions, then your mind and your body is going to want to do what it knows it can do in order to feel better. The second main reason why you're drinking so much and it is so hard to stop, even though you say you're going to, is because drinking has become a habit and a daily routine for you. And habits and routines kick willpower's butt any day. Just think about all the other things that are routines for yourself, like, waking up and maybe brushing your teeth, or, doing your bed, or any of the other things that you normally do as a routine. These are things that are on autopilot. You don't even have to think about them anymore. You just do them. So drinking has become part of your daily routine, and it's very hard to break. So for example, if you're used to coming back from home after a very long day at work and you start drinking at that point, if you change your routine, your mind and your body are going to rebel. They're going to be like, hey, what's up? Where's my beer? Where's my drink? So you are so used to doing this that even if you're trying not to, everything within you, you have this momentum to keep doing what you're doing. And at this point, your own self, your own mind becomes your enemy, because it's going to expect, your mind and your body is going to expect the alcohol in order to continue with the routine that you are used to. Another reason is that you might be drinking because you are bored and you have not developed other meaningful things, other fun things, other things that interest you other than drinking. And drinking might be your default activity for when you have a downtime, for when you don't have anything else to do. You might basically just pick up the bottle and start drinking just as a matter of, again, of routine. But this is when you don't have anything else to do, then you drink. So that's another reason why you might be drinking every time you find yourself idle, you find yourself without doing anything. So what are some things that you could be doing instead of drinking? Take a moment to think about it and share in the comments below so we can all get some ideas. And then one of the main reasons a lot of people drink is in order to socialize, in order to feel more at ease, in order to feel more like themselves. When they're out, you might feel like if you don't have a drink, you can't feel comfortable enough. You might feel very apprehensive, or you might feel very stressed out or have a lot of anxiety. And when you drink, you feel more at ease. We call alcohol the social lubricant. So you might be just used to drinking every time you have to interact with people. And also, many times we've created a social environment where everybody in our social circle drinks. So now that you decide that you're not going to drink, or you're going to drink less, you might feel awkward. You might feel like singled out, or like the odd duck in the group, and you don't want to feel this way. So you go back and drink because you don't want people to think that there's something going on with you, or what's wrong. And then you drink. So your social environment and the people that you hang out with might make it very difficult for you to change your habit and to stop drinking. So what about you? Do you find yourself drinking in social situations in order to make it easy for you to deal with people? Let me know what you think. So you see, it's not that you cannot stop drinking. It's not that your willpower is not working. It's just that your drinking habit is so embedded in your day-to-day life, and you are using alcohol as a means to cope with very, very strong emotions, and it helps you to deal with social circumstances. So it becomes very, very difficult to change these patterns, to change these habits, to change these routines, because alcohol has now become a very important part of how you operate and how you navigate your normal life. And not drinking will feel very strange, will feel, almost scary. How are you going to go about doing all of these things without drinking? So that's why quitting alcohol becomes very difficult and almost unsurmountable for some. So the good news is that it is not impossible to stop drinking, and it is not impossible to change all of these things that I just mentioned. It's just going to require a lot of work. But isn't it worth it? Isn't your life worth it? Isn't becoming a better version of yourself, or reclaiming a lot of the things that you've lost because of alcohol, worth it? Okay, so what can you do about it? You have to come up with alternate activities. Maybe it means that you won't be able to hang out with the acquaintances that you drink with for some time, and I realize that this can be very difficult, but you're gonna have to change the way you navigate your day-to-day life. I like to say that you have to re-engineer your daily schedule so it doesn't revolve around drinking. So the times that you spend drinking now, you're gonna be spending them doing other more useful things for yourself, things that are aligned with your values and the things that you like to do. So you have to come up with some ideas on what are other things that you're interested in that you can do instead of drinking. Because if you don't substitute the time you spend drinking with some other engaging activities, it's just going to be very hard, and your default is going to go back to drinking alcohol. In order to deal with your strong emotions, this is going to be one of the hardest things that you're going to have to do, because many times we drink because we don't want to face these emotions, or we might not be even aware that we're experiencing these emotions. For example, I drink in order to calm down, assuage my feelings of anxiety, and I wasn't really very aware of this for a very, very long time. And then I realized that, I had to deal with some of the underlying issues of why am I feeling this way. So if you're feeling anxious, stressed out, and if you're feeling feelings of sadness, depressions, you have to look at what is going on. You're going to have to take a step back and understand where are all of these feelings coming from. And this is not something that you can do in a day or two. This is something that is going to take a while, and it's very likely that you're going to need a little bit of help in order to do this. There are people who are experts in dealing with strong emotions, doctors, psychologists, counselors that can help you to process some of these very, very strong emotions, because in order to really get to the bottom of these things, you're just going to have to be able to understand and process your feelings and not just drown them or cover them with the drinking. Yeah, and I know this sounds like a lot of work, and this gives pause to a lot of people, because many times we find it very, very hard to ask for help. It is very difficult to admit that we as adults, as smart people, as people who live independent lives, that we're going to need help because we can't control our drinking, or because we're feeling anxious or depressed. The truth is that the stigma around our mental health is a stigma that stops people from looking help. And the analogy I like to give is, if you fell on the floor and you broke your arm, wouldn't you go to the doctor so he would help you put a cast on your arm and make sure that your bones will heal properly? Well, it is the same thing. There are things that are very hard to process on our own, because there are many things that we might not understand. You might not know how to fix your own bone. And so you go to the doctor and you don't think it twice. But if somebody brings up the issue of perhaps talking to somebody about how you're feeling and the fact that you're dealing with these strong emotions with the drinking, you find it very, very hard to do. And I get it. I understand. I went through this too. And it took me a very, very long time to be able to admit that I needed help. But now that I look back, I wish I had gotten help earlier, because that would have saved me a lot of time and grief, and quite frankly, putting my life in danger over and over again. And the sooner you take action, the better for you and your family and the people around you. Because remember, this is not just about you, right? It's about the people around you that is affected by your drinking, by the way you change, by the way you act, by the way you behave and the things you do when you are under the influence of alcohol. So if it was just you, that would be one thing. I mean, you are a very important person, you have to take care of yourself, but you're also responsible for the world around you, and the things you do have a ripple effect, both negative and positive. And you can do this. This is possible for everybody. And you just have to take this attitude that you have to do whatever it takes. And you have to put aside your qualms and your ego and your preconceptions, because it is about reclaiming your life. It's about living a good life again. It's about reaching out for your goals and waking up every day without feeling anxious and angry and upset because you drank and you did something stupid and you said something that hurt somebody. This is possible, but it requires you to have the willingness and the attitude to do whatever it takes. I made a video that talks about 5 habits that I adopted in my daily life that helped me to stay sober. So if you want to watch this video, check it out right here. It's really good information. If you're trying to stay sober and quit drinking, I have come up with a 5-day sobriety plan that will give you day-by-day actions and activities to do in order to maximize your chances of staying sober in that first week, that very critical stage in early sobriety. So you can check the link in the description below. I hope this information was very useful because I want you to be successful. I want you to stop drinking. And I wanted to tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you can do this. So I hope you enjoyed this content and please share it with anybody who you think might benefit from this. All right, and subscribe to the channel for more great information like this. This is Alex Rivera with Activation Energy. Thanks for joining and I'll see you in the next video.